Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
Boom, here we are in the podcast room. Live with Champ and the Tramp. Ain't live, but we're delayed a little bit, maybe a week or so. But hey, here we are, Roger and Frankie. How you doing?
We are alive, though, people. We're alive.
Hey, let's give a quick shout out to Vinny DeStefano. Helped us out with some technical applications with this podcast, as well as my boy Corey from Malcolm Media. Everybody at Malcolm Media, they're helping as well. Anybody else?
I'd like to take a moment just to thank our sponsors. I think that's an important part of this. We have absolutely fucking none. So if you'd like to sponsor us, please reach out.
I was wondering, I'm like, damn, what is this guy pulling out of his back pocket right now? That's great. Yeah, well, you know, to those guys, Vinny and Corey and Malka, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Eat clean, bro. Where's your damn T-shirt, man? I'm waiting for it.
I know. I almost wore a sweatshirt tonight and I forgot it too. But eat clean, bro. Big shout out to Jamie. Thank you, brother. Get us something for the wall in here, pal. We love you.
And too, I know our wall is a little bare back here. We got this sword. The sword. Let's little
history. Yes.
All
history.
right, my man Timur Valiev from Dagestan, Russia. We train with a lot of Dagestani fighters, and this dude is a beast. He's a good friend. He's probably one of the first Russian guys to come train here, and now we have just a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A bunch of them been coming in and out throughout the past 5-6 years now, and Zabit being one of them.
A phenom of a
Saeed,
fighter.
yeah, he's phenomenal. So this is one of their their warrior weapons. They're like the Dagestani people.
I feel like if you were born in Dagestan, you know how to fight. I feel like
they're amazing. They have the most Olympic champions in that little area than anywhere else in the world.
I believe it.
In this past World Wrestling Championships, I think Dagestan, Ossetia, and Chechnya, which is they think the size of Georgia, the state, won just that area won the World Wrestling Championships.
Why? What do you think?
They're warriors. They're warriors from like ages ago. They're all like different tribes.
Because it's like
You ever hear the steppe? The steppe in Asia, people from the steppe, like Genghis Khan, like ran the steppe. I think that's where they're from.
Okay.
They're just warrior people. Amazing wrestler, technical, everything. But that's one of their, original
those are
stores. I thought I'd hang it up.
all military states or military?
No, Chechnya maybe.
Yeah.
Dagestan, I don't know. I haven't been there. I plan on going though, so I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually been to Chechnya.
How was it?
It was a little crazy.
Yeah.
A little not crazy. I mean, I definitely got a lot of love from the people. People are really into MMA. MMA is huge out there. But it was an experience. A little different than home.
Like wild dogs running amok, or
no
what?
wild dogs. No. I don't know if you call it a military state, but there's a lot of military people around.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Just a lot of guys in uniform, or just military trucks on the street?
I don't know. I was kind of like a guest of them. I did a seminar for one of the things. I went to one of the venues.
What's the language? You need a translator?
Russian.
Yeah,
Russian.
yeah.
That's the interesting about Dagestan. Russian is the language they pretty much all know, that they all know together. But in Dagestan alone, there's like 40 different tribes. So like, we train with 4 or 5 different Russians.
Well, tribes. They call it tribes.
They call it tribes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we train with 4 or 5 different Russians, and they all speak a different language.
Oh, wow.
Their own, like, and some of it's like, Timur was telling me about Saeed. He's like, his is like, I'm like, get the fuck out.
Like,
How can they be that different when you're literally from an area the size of Georgia?
That's true.
Georgia, the state, not the country, by the way.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
It is. But segue's the word for the next little step we're going.
Yeah, listen. Our obviously episode 1 was a bit of a personal one for me. I feel like we laid down the gauntlet there and got into some real heavy stuff with me, and I don't want to ever have that conversation again. That was a one and done. Let's segue a little bit into you and something that I've held off from talking about because I wanted to be very organic and very from the hip, and I've been dying to talk to you about it, man. Your latest fight. Obviously, I watched it. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I watched it. I was kind of nodding in and out because we had a Christmas party the night before, but I watched it. Hurt my heart. I know I've been there, bro, when you've lost before, and I know what it does to you. I know the toll it takes on you, and, I didn't even text you because I knew, we're in a tight-knit community here, Tom's River, New Jersey, and Frankie's friends with everybody, and I knew he was just getting inundated with texts. and I didn't want to text you because I just wanted to give you your space, let you breathe, and I wanted to do it here. Talk me through that, bro. Talk me through that loss and you know, what you see moving forward, and you know, how did that weigh on you? Your conscience, your fight career, your heart. First fight your parents had never been to, correct?
This is the first fight, yeah, I believe my parents have never been to. Yeah, I mean, it was short notice all the way out in South Korea. It was like a 14-hour flight, 14-hour time difference.
I've been there, actually, yeah.
You know, it was a hard. This one was tough. You know, I know people realize. I know people think whether I'm underdog or I'm supposed to win. I go into every fight expecting to win. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna win. That's why I've been as successful as I am. I don't go into fights thinking, "What am I gonna say when I lose?" Right. I go in and say, "I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win." And you know, maybe that's stupid of me. You know, but that's just who I am, how I'm wired. And when you lose a fight, it sucks. And you know. It's nothing compared to a death in the family, but to me, that's the only thing it's close to.
I believe it.
You know what I mean? Like I am depressed for a few days. This one stung a little more. Mm-hmm. You know, it was Christmas was right around the corner. Mm-hmm. I had to obviously, you know, deal with my shit alone and have to be there. You know, I want to be present with my kids. I want to be happy in Christmas. I don't want to be fucking depressed. But, you know, here I am sitting with my eye all swollen and everything. It sucked. And especially like Santino, you know, he gets it because he's very competitive wrestling. He's really into my fight career. He comes to training with me a lot. That's the hardest fucking thing to do is come home and see my kid. Mm-hmm. You know.
What do they say to you?
He's like, you know, he wants to make excuses for me. Yeah. You know. Oh, if you were trained, you know, if you had a full training, I'm like, dude, I was like, we don't make excuses here. Right. We don't do that. Right. You know, I took a chance and it didn't work out for me. Right. And you know that sucked too. You know, I know if we fought 10 times, I don't know how that fight would go. Mm-hmm. But I took that chance. You know, and I mean, the guy goes out there and he puts people away. Yeah. A lot.
Well, I mean, listen, he was coming off that Yair fight, which he lost, obviously. But what an epic war that was. I mean, what are they got fight of the night and maybe even fight of the year, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. Probably nomination for it at least.
I'm not sure. Yeah, definitely nomination. It was just, I think, kind of, you know, especially the ending the way it ended. And you know, Korean Zombie was on his way to winning that one.
Right.
He won his
and you beat Yair is something we should add and tell the people that don't follow UFC. Frankie, the Korean Zombie, who Frankie just had a loss to, his last fight was an epic war that he actually lost, but very close fight. And I think there was just a few seconds left in that fight, and Yair threw this crazy, I don't even know what it's called, an upward elbow, I guess.
Yeah, like a bent down upward elbow, yeah.
And knocked him out. And it's, I mean, the odds of landing that had to be about 1,000,000 to 1, but it landed cleanly, knocked him out. But Frankie fought Yair and really made him look, you know, not good. I mean, Frankie really took him out. I mean, it looked like you were, you know, a real veteran in that, and he was the up-and-comer, and it's exactly how it kind of laid out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, styles make fights, you know. Right. And, I mean, but Zombie, even, I know, before that fight, I think he won 2 fights, and he knocked out Hanato Maikano, I think his name is. Pretty sure his name is that. And, you know,
beat Dennis Bermudez, good fighter.
Yeah, he beat Dennis Bermudez before, a couple fights before that. So, I mean, you know, he puts guys away. It's not like, you know, I'm the first guy he put away. So, it doesn't make it any better. It still stings. It still sucks. I cracked my orbital in the process. Nothing bad, no surgery. It's actually the 3rd time I cracked my orbital. My very first fight in the Bronx, you know, back in 2005, I cracked my orbital on the left side. Training for a fight, I got hit with a spin kick and cracked my orbital, and that was probably 3 years ago.
Oh, it was in training?
In training. Okay. I had to pull out of a fight for that. And then now this time. So, that's unfortunate, but it's the breaks.
Right. It's a fight
I came home, I licked my wounds. But I was with my family. That always makes it better, at least, you know, better to deal with. But I definitely was an angry person for a while.
Yeah, we went to Tommy's birthday together, and that was you were just a different animal that night. Like, that was a couple, maybe 3 days, 4 days after you got home. Yeah. Friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, we went to his 40th birthday party. Went to a nice steakhouse, and you know, it just weighed heavy on you, man. And you know, we all saw it, and I don't think any of us talked about it because we knew you didn't want to talk about it. But, I can't imagine as a fighter, especially a fighter who has gone so long in your career, as many people do, you know, to take that loss and then what that does to you. But now that we've sort of talked about it, what does the future hold for you?
Yeah, you know, I'm going down to 35.
Which was the plan before you.
It was the
this
plan.
fight, yeah.
It was the plan. Being a 38-year-old in mixed martial arts, it's like you hear all the fucking talk, all the noise about retirement's coming or you should retire, blah blah blah. But I still feel I want to give myself a fighting chance before I really make any kind of decision like that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I lost to Max. It was a close fight, not a close fight, but it was a competitive fight. He didn't just blow me out like he.
The only fight you've
the
ever
guys.
really had. And again, taking nothing away from the guy, I actually really like the guy, but Brian Ortega, who that got that elbow in, was just phenomenal. And then, everybody gives the uppercut accolades, but really it was the elbow that caught you. That was the only fight I've ever seen you really cleanly taken out in ever. You know what I mean? And I just chalk that up to if you're in the fight game long enough, everybody gets a lucky shot through. It happens to everybody, and he won fair and square. The Korean Zombie. Little different story there, I felt like, and I knew that one was going to probably weigh heavier on you,
Yeah, no, both of those. I mean, they both caught me good shots. I tried staying in as long as I could, both of them. No, neither of them turned me off completely.
Yeah, I know.
Which I would love that benefit of the doubt every time, but I'm not complaining about stoppages or anything here. So obviously I'm hearing all that noise, but and like I said, I've been stacking the cards against myself since the beginning. At 55, I only weighed 55.
Right.
At 45, I only weighed 55, cutting 10 pounds.
Right.
Really nothing. This weight cut for Korean Zombie was the easiest, actually, because I was kind of on my way down to 35. Doing some things, changing my diet, mentally changing my diet, doing some fat burning stuff, kind of. And then this opportunity came up, so the weight was so easy to make. I went out to Korea. I was eating all the Korean shit, which there's no clean food out there.
Yeah, no.
At least I couldn't find any. So it was really easy to make.
What did you think? Because I've been there. I've been to South Korea. What did you think of the food?
I eat everything.
Do you? Yeah.
And I like everything. The Korean barbecue there was fucking.
I thought it was good. Yeah. Kimchi. Everybody eats kimchi over there. Yep.
It's a different. It's definitely different at home.
Spicy. Yeah.
I'm into spicy. A lot of vegetables. But a lot
of fish, bone-in fish, fish heads.
Yeah. So during that week I tried to stay away from seafood a little bit just because
get
close to a fight. You know what I mean?
You don't have the shits the day you walk into the ring.
Right. But it was cool. Me and Chris got a couples massage the first night. We ended up getting into this Thai massage place. We end up in the same room. I'm like, bro, what is this, dude? We literally got massaged next to each other. It was great.
That's amazing.
But yeah, back to the fight. But I'm gonna go down to 35, man. Like I said, 45, 55. I've always kind of been fighting these bigger guys, and at 35, I'm not gonna be the biggest guy either.
Right.
know?
Well, you told me this one time. I remember way back when we trained, you told me this. This was many years ago, but you said to me, lightweight fighters. Obviously, I'm an older guy. If I was a fighter, which I'm not, we don't have speed and agility, right? Because we're big guys. No big guys really move with a great deal of agility. So guys can typically fight older in your career if you're the heavier you are. Like Randy fought until he was 44 or something, right?
I just think it's more. It's more
fast twitch muscle.
I don't know if it's fast twitch. I feel like if you're a big guy that's an athlete, you're pretty. You're athletic already. Big guys. I'm not saying big guys aren't athletes. Obviously, they are the best. Basketball players, football players, they're the biggest guys in the world. They're the best athletes in the world. I'm just saying, as far as maybe it is fast twitch. Goes a little less on the bigger guys, or you see a more noticeable change on the littler guys. You know what I'm saying?
My point was going to be.
I mean, but look at Bernard Hopkins, right? He's 50-something years old and still fighting.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely fighter to fighter. I do think bigger guys can probably fight older than lighter guys.
But typically, correct me if I'm wrong, speed and agility is sort of the first thing to go as you get older.
That's what they say. That's what they say, man. I don't know if I believe all this old stuff, man.
Okay, all right. You found the fountain of youth?
I mean, no. I mean, I still get rock.
You know what I'm saying? Renee, come down here. Yeah. Renee.
But really, I don't know. I hear a lot of stuff. People talking about. I think a lot of it's mental, man.
Yeah.
A lot of it's mental.
I believe it.
And dude, 50-year-olds, back when we were kids, are a lot different than 50-year-olds now.
Totally agree.
I mean, shit. You're right here.
I'm 50.
I'm looking
44.
I'm looking at
44. 44. But I wouldn't want to be in the ring. I'm not. I'm definitely. Lost a step or two in my old age. There's no question about it. I mean, there's just no question about it. But I'm also not an athlete. I don't train every day like you do. So
yeah, I really haven't stopped training. I train a lot every day. I do something. Even my face is kind of cracked. I'm already been back to jiu-jitsu a couple times. and even doing stuff, I do yoga, I run, I went snowboarding today. I try to stay active. I try to just constantly keep the.
Where'd you go? Poconos?
No, we went to Mountain Creek.
Okay.
That was cool. Me and wifey got up in the morning, just went for a day trip.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Keeping that romance alive. That's important.
It's tough. So the fight world. What else? You got something else for me?
Well, not specifically for you. Honestly, I wanted you to open up a little bit and talk about. I mean, do you have another fight coming up?
No, nothing booked. I don't know when I'm gonna get back in there. Honestly,
But when you do, you made the decision. It's definitely going to be a 135.
It'll definitely be at 35. That was the plan the whole time along. It's like I finally decided to go down, and I'm on my way, and if something comes up, I'm like, let's go here. So maybe I mean, like I said, I don't regret anything ever because
toughest
back and do nothing.
loss of your career, would you say?
I mean,
They're all the same.
The toughest loss is the last loss.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
I mean, that's the one that's the most recent, stings the most. I've maybe at the end of my career you could ask me what the toughest one is, but we're not there yet, my friend. All you fucking punks out there, let you know.
I'll pick your brain, ask you a couple more personal questions. Hardest guy that's ever hit you. Hardest you've ever been punched.
Believe it or not, okay. So I know I got stopped against Ortega, and I got stopped against Zombie. But during both those fights, I was with it. I was coherent. I mean, I was definitely out of it, obviously, stumbling down and stuff. But my mind, I was with it. I remember being, under Zombie, and his coaches telling him, "Oh, he's got hit with 30 straight punches." Trying to tell me to stop it. And I slipped up. I slipped up out of it. I get up there, and I remember hearing Mark Goddard like, gotta defend yourself, gotta defend yourself. So I knew time, I knew what was going on. Ortega, I knew there was short time left in the round, and I remember saying to myself when I got hit with the elbow, I'm like, oh come on, let's just move around a little bit. I know there's short time, Bell's gotta come soon. Got hit with the head kick, kind of blocked it, still got hit with it, and then the uppercut put me away. Yep. But I remember like, oh, let me just make it to the end. So like I remember, and afterwards I remember everything very clear too. But against Gray Maynard the first and second time.
I thought you were going to say that, yeah.
The second and third time, rather, I don't remember anything. Really. I remember in the second fight, that was probably worse. Fourth round coming around. I think
you did that after he caught you one with a pretty good one. You did that backflip thing where you landed on your back and then you sort of came back up and landed on your feet.
Yeah.
And I was like
doing warm-ups all the time.
I was like.
That was just like, like an autopilot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I go... Wait, where were we?
I asked who was the hardest
hitter.
Hardest hitter.
So Gray, he in that second fight, he with a punch. That's the hardest hit I've ever been hit with a punch. And then
the Benson Henderson up kick, bro,
was the hardest up kick I've ever taken. And that was a crazy story. I don't remember much of that fight. What's kind of funny is there was the two Gray fights and the Benson Henderson fight. Those were 3 in a row.
Yep.
I got rocked badly in those fights, and I remember thinking in half of those fights I don't remember some rounds. So I remember saying, wow, man, I don't know how I'm going to really feel during a 5-round fight because I don't remember them.
Right.
So I was worried that my rematch with Benson, like, man, is my condition really good? I don't remember it. And so
you're
kind of funny.
You're a guy that goes many decision fights. You go a lot of 3-rounders. You go a lot of 5-rounders. And I mean, listen, you get hit a lot. You know what I mean? Do you ever worry? Like,
I actually don't get hit. I mean, I've been obviously knocked out or knocked down, whatever. This last couple times, but no, I don't think my percentage of getting hit is that high.
Really?
Or not. Yeah.
You just bleed easy.
I'm definitely a bleeder,
All right.
So, but that story with Henderson.
But you have more minutes in the octagon
than that's good.
Anybody else.
Good, we'll find out.
And whether you're just dancing around, which you don't do, you're always engaging. I mean, guys are throwing punches at you and throwing kicks at you, whether they're landing or not, whether they're counting as points or not. I mean, you've got the most minutes of any guy. Do you worry at all about your future and if you're just going to be drooling on yourself when you're 50 years old?
I mean, a little bit. I don't. I really don't. I don't. But I'm aware of it. Mm-hmm. I'm aware of it. I hear people talking about it. I hear people talking about CTE and how it's like this new thing.
Right.
But then I'm hearing like they.
I mean, guys in football wear helmets, right? And that's big in football now.
Yeah. Right. So they said they tested like 150 guys who played football, whether from high school football to pro football. 150 guys. I could be wrong with the numbers, but I'll say 150 guys. 148 of them had CTE.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well then do 150 guys walking the street what's the average of how many get? Maybe it's just fucking everybody gets it. That's what I want to know. Maybe nobody gets it. I don't know. But
you need a neutral.
I still feel I'm somewhat coherent. You know what I mean? I'm fucking 38. I don't feel like I'm slipping in any way. And I do feel like MMA is a lot different than boxing. Mm-hmm. Look at our old MMA fighters. I guess who's the oldest one? Dan Severn. I don't know how's he doing.
Yeah, Dan's a bit of an odd guy. Listen, I'm a Dan Severn fan, but he's
a beast, bro. But yeah,
Tank Abbott. Yeah.
So I don't know. Shamrock,
yeah.
Tito. Chuck, no.
Tito still looks good in the ring, man.
He does. I mean, he looks like he has some athletic ability, and he
not so much with Chuck. I was almost sad to see that fight happen because he just didn't.
He didn't look the same.
He had such a mystique to him, and such a he was just so beloved and such a knockout artist. And I don't know. I feel like I think Dana did. Dana said he did anyways. He shouldn't have taken that last fight.
I agree.
I'm going to be the guy that tells you to stop, and you got to listen to me.
Yeah, please do. I mean, I'll stop. I'll know when to stop.
Yeah.
I'll know when to stop.
I definitely don't think it's now, but.
No, I can't, people that are saying, and people do say it, which, I don't pay attention to them, but.
What's your ranking now? I haven't even looked. Where are you ranked?
I don't know. I mean, I was number 4. I think he was number 5.
Right.
So.
Heard he was complaining about the rankings after that fight. I saw something online real quick that
didn't that move him up enough?
Something like that. He was upset with the ranking system.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
Speaking of ranking systems, there's a fight coming up that doesn't make a lot of sense in the rankings. Exactly, which some fights don't because they just do them for the fans. But Conor, the fight coming up against Cowboy. What's your take on that?
Conor gets to pick any fight.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean about rankings. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, that fight could have been mine. It was almost mine.
Yeah, I heard. And honestly, he's really never, that I've heard, he talks shit about everybody. I've really never heard him shit talk to you.
He says some stuff, but nothing like, no low blows.
Yeah, nothing crazy that I've heard anyway. What does he say? Give me the best one he had.
Oh, I don't know. Probably I'm old or, wrestlers to wrestler or some shit like that. But nothing really too bad.
Paid you props a few times as well.
He has actually in this last fight. In this last fight, I put a text out, saying like, why do the negative comments always get to you the most? And I was fucking in my feelings a little bit one night. I had a couple drinks, and I'm late night, fucking up from jet lag. I'm like, why do the negative comments always get to you the most?
They do.
And I'm like, thanks to the real ones out there to give me the love. I'm to all you others. I'm sure it won't be the last shitty comment you give. But to you real ones, thank you. Whatever. Yep. And really, I said, let's not give power to these people. That's what I said. That was really the message. Like, yo, fuck these. I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention to hate. I just want love. So that's what I kind of meant at. And everyone's like, fuck everybody. Oh, don't worry about it. Try to give me like encouragement, and that's cool. I appreciate it. But that wasn't what I was looking for.
Speaking of haters, I felt victim to that for a while. I used to engage them a lot, and I think the followers that I had on social media were upset that I engaged the haters so much and never said, hey, thanks for the love. I've really tried to make an effort to stop doing that. I used to always get it, and it was never, I never took things so personal that I was like, okay, let's have a verbal war. I was just a real smart ass. Yeah. Like I just hit them back with sarcasm, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just like, and I just get a kick out of it and try to like kind of put them in their place that way. But then, a lot of the people that support me and have always, they're like, why, I comment on every post and say nice things, so I try not to engage the haters anymore. As a matter of fact,
that's the way to go.
I block most of them now. I just don't even say anything because there's always going to be haters.
I actually I don't respond to haters. Sometimes I'll type up a text and I'll be like, and then I don't send it. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I'm glad I don't, obviously. But one time I did, and it was so dumb. This was way back. I was that champ. I had my first UFC magazine. I'm on the cover, and I'm at the UFC event. I think with Renee, and they panned on me. The camera panned on me, and I had the magazine, so I put it up. I'm like, whatever. Magazine, my fucking magazine cover. And I'm looking through Twitter while I'm there, and someone was like, "Oh, what a dork! He putting his magazine cover up." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Yo, what?" I was like, I write back. I'm like, "Yeah, keep hating from your mom's basement, loser." Right? And I hit send, and I send it, and I realized it was when the time me and Gray were having the rematch. I was thinking it was some chick that was friends with Gray. She was a fucking porn star.
Oh,
she was a porn star. She came at me, and I said, "In your mom's basement, loser. It's some porn star chick." I was like, "Don't be mad because your mom can't hang your fucking magazines up in the house, all right?"
What was her name? Because I might want to watch some of her later.
I don't want to say it. But yeah,
so anyway,
that I learned my lesson. No writing
What
back
what is your take on the Conor and Cowboy fight?
Cowboy fight. I'm picking Conor, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Cowboy, I think he lost his last 2.
Yep.
You never know. I mean, I fucking pick fights and
I'm
wrong all the time. So,
yeah.
so don't.
Me
don't
too.
go by.
Me too.
Cowboy, I like Cowboy a lot. Me and Conor, I really don't know him that well. Obviously mutual respect type shit. But Cowboy's a kind of somewhat of a friend of mine. But I think Conor might catch him with that left hand. I think if Cowboy can take him down, that'll definitely benefit him. Cowboy's probably, I don't know. I wonder who's going to be bigger. Cowboy's going to be taller, a little bit longer, rangier. I don't know. I just think Conor. Good stuff happens for Conor when he needs it to.
Yeah, I agree with that. And maybe I would, if I was betting money, probably pick Conor because of the left hand, the bomb that he's got in that left hand. But, I mean, there's no doubt Cowboy's more, in my opinion, more of a veteran than him. No question.
The thing is, I feel like Cowboy, too, is a slow starter, and Conor is a fast starter.
No question. I wouldn't argue with that at all. They say Cowboy is, I guess he had a motorcycle accident. Dirt bike. First of all, he's a straight gangster. You follow him on Instagram?
Yeah, dude.
The dude is a straight savage.
Well, even like fight week, he's
gangster, bro. He
wakeboarding, skydiving, fight week. I'm like, man, I'm trying to fucking make sure I make it to my payday,
right,
man.
Right. I'm a certified diver, so I know a little bit about diving.
The
dude's a cave diver.
Diving?
The most dangerous diving there is in the world is cave diving because
I heard didn't he get stuck in
he told the story on Rogan's podcast, but just to do it in general or even tackle it, I mean, you're putting your life so on the line. There's no escape. If anything goes wrong, there's no escape. And a big problem down there is silt. In any cave, you get a little bit of silt buildup. You can't see. And then you just die because you get lost. You run out of air.
Silt is that fine sand, right?
Right. Yeah. You're supposed to stay above it, not kick it. But
if your flaps kick it,
if you get low, you panic. You kick a little bit up, then you're literally like in a dark room. Blind.
That's what he was in, right?
That happened to him
because of the silt or because of the dark area.
I don't remember the specific story exactly how it happened, but he kicked up some silt, couldn't find your lines. That's how you find your way in and out. And he couldn't find his lines.
Oh, so you're attached to lines?
Right.
Oh,
and then they got
you find your lines
because they
get
tangled up a lot of the times. There's more than like there might be multiple cave entrances. There might be a line going here, a line going here, and you're tethered to it. And then other guys have, it's in a perfect system. When you have clear visibility, it all works great. But the moment that's gets silted up, I've never caved over. I would never cave dive ever. I just would never do it.
Yeah, even scuba diving just bugs me out, man.
Well, even he wakeboards. I mean, the dude does everything.
Yeah.
He literally does
rides
everything.
Motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's different. I think in Albuquerque you ride motorcycles, or New Mexico at least you can ride motorcycles. In Jersey, bro, it's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah. Well, Mir almost ended his career. Frank Mir.
Even Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas probably can't be good to ride motorcycles either.
Yeah. But, he's a straight gangster. McGregor, obviously, is a gangster in his own way. He's an Irish gangster. But I don't know. I guess if I was going to
pick, and you have a pick?
If I had to pick, I hate to say this, I'd pick McGregor. I would.
Why you hate to say it?
Just because I like Cowboy. I just
Cowboy's
like everything. I like everything about that guy.
I like Cowboy, too. I do. He's a good dude. He's got, I think, most bonuses in UFC. He's got most knockdowns, most wins, most fights.
He does.
I mean, he's a likable guy.
I know what I was going to say. I got off topic there. We were talking about what he does and what he's into. The dirt bike thing. I guess he had an accident on a dirt bike years ago, punctured his intestines or something. They removed a bunch of his intestines, and they say that he's prone to body kicks now. Not that McGregor's known for throwing body kicks, but I think he got taken out by Pettis, didn't he, with a body kick?
Yeah.
Somebody else with a body kick. They say he's
prone. That was also, they said, when he was down to 55.
Okay.
Something with that his intestines being fucked up. It was probably really hard to get down to 55. This fight's at 70. I don't know if that.
It took a lot of his intestines out. I know, so I'm sure that has to affect your nutrition. Yeah.
I mean, he drinks a lot of beer.
He does. Yeah, that's why I like the guy. I would just like to go hang out with the guy. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I've hung out with him. We don't have to do that no more.
I just like clapping, man.
He likes clapping.
Makes me
happy and clap your hands. So the Conor and Cowboy, and we say Cowboy's a good dude, which he is.
Yeah, well, okay. We're talking about personalities here rather than fighting specifically. I do think Cowboy's a good dude. Not that I know him personally. You met him before. Actually, we had an experience back when I was with Jenny, where it was one of her friends, one of Jenny's friends. I think somebody in the industry that was like a huge fan of his, and he had just had a fight. They were in Florida, and they were dying to meet him. I forget who it was. And Cowboy drove all the way there on his own with his girlfriend to meet this guy that was just like they called in a favor. Jenny reached out to her manager. Can you reach out to his manager? And Cowboy drove all the way there to meet this like super fan for his birthday or something like that. I just thought that was cool. The guy, you know what I mean?
That's really cool. That's cool. I think he has an RV that he drives around too.
Yep.
He's just about adventure, that dude. I think.
He's totally
He has a kid now too.
He does.
He has a kid. I'm sure that maybe slowed him down a little bit. I don't know.
Well, he said he did one of his post-fight, speeches there where he won. I forget who it was against, and he said that having a child has changed him into a better fighter. So I think a lot of people think that when you have a family, it makes you a worse fighter because I don't know. I don't know what the school of thought is on that.
I don't know. For me,
you can't dedicate yourself to fighting as much if you have a family. A lot of people say.
I disagree. I think it gives you purpose.
Yeah.
All right, you have something a little bit more to fight for. I don't know. The stakes get higher as life goes on.
Right.
I tell people this all the time. I don't know, for me and my sake, like in high school, I used to think wrestling in school, oh my God, this is so stressful, Then I get to college, holy shit, college, wrestling, oh my God. Then, you graduate, you get a job, this. Then you have a fucking kid, holy shit, and you have 2 kids. It's like, it constantly gets more and more and more, and you just got to adapt with it.
But do you remember when we were like teenagers or, had, little crushes we thought it was so complicated back then? What I'd give to go back to that. We had nothing.
It's not, that's what I wonder, though. Does
no bills. You had a cell phone. You had a cell phone bill and an insurance bill.
No matter what, whatever, like you said now, whatever that hardship you just went through, in 5 years from now, you're gonna look back and you're like, I got through it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, I don't want to ever talk about that again. We talked about it. It was episode 1, but I will say
we're gonna come back.
No. I will say that I think, even though I almost checked out, I think it made me a better me, and in the end, it did. You know what I mean? I think
that's what
you don't realize who you are until you strive through some real adversity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. A diamond doesn't turn into a diamond without some pressure first. Right?
Coal
doesn't turn into a diamond without some pressure first. Yep. And that's in all aspects of life.
What were we just saying about those head kicks and those?
Yeah. Listen, I never started out too full that head anyway. All right. I ain't getting nothing too much kicked out.
So if you had to bet money, by the way, do you ever bet on fighting?
Never. I mean, I have in the past, but honestly, maybe 3 or 4 times, and I obviously I haven't won as much. That's probably why I don't bet, and I don't like I'm a competitive dude, man. I am. I can't help it. Sometimes the way I drive, I feel like someone's trying to. I can't help it. I don't mean to be. You know, competitive with my wife sometimes. That's a problem. You know, I don't mean to be. And I just can't. This is who I am. You know.
Well, it goes back to my point. Who would you? I know it's not going to be me. It's not going to be Renee. Who would you listen to when you still have that competitive drive, but other people around you, the closest people to you, feel like you.
Yeah, no, my ego won't let me do that.
So is it you that has to turn yourself off?
My ego won't let me lose fights I shouldn't lose.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So. But go back to the fight, the Ben Henderson. I got to finish the story.
Yeah.
Right, because it's kind of good, maybe unique. I don't know if anybody else went through this. Hit us up, Champ and the Tramp. No, I got kicked in the face with that up kick from Benson Henderson, and I come back. It was in Japan, fought in Japan. It was a midday fight, which a little weird. You don't fight in the middle of the day, so I fought midday. Had to stay. I went to the hospital, checked, make sure my face wasn't broken. Nothing broken. They said no concussion or anything. My face was just my eye was real swollen. I think the up kick was kind of like right here for people that could see, like kind of like corner of my nose and my cheekbone. And I go home. I get home on a Monday or Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, I blow my nose pretty hard. Shouldn't blow your nose after you get in a fight, but I couldn't breathe, and I said, "Fuck it." I blew my nose. My nose starts bleeding. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well, real quick pause. Cowboy did that in one of his recent fights,
that's how I know when I broke my face.
He took himself out of the fight because his eye swelled so bad.
But that's how I know I broke my face, because they said I was good after the fight, and it felt a little weird. I go in the mirror, I hold my nose, and my face blew up with air, just like Cowboy. But back to the Benson Henderson fight. So Tuesday, I blow my nose, starts bleeding. No big deal. My nose bleeds all the time. Plug it up. Doesn't stop. I literally had to wake up in the middle of the night a bunch of times. Blood all over the place. Wouldn't stop. Next day, wouldn't stop. Finally, I get into an ENT's office. I go. He's like, all right, we're just going to cauterize it. All right, cool. He cauterizes me up. I start walking out the office. Boom, blood starts coming out my nose again. I'm like, shit. So I told him, he's like, I'll throw you in the chair again. Cauterizes me again. Boom, 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 boom.
Cauterize, is it the heat they use?
Heat, they kind of, I don't really know, but they supposedly
laser
like,
heat. You don't
no,
know.
it's kind of a cauterized burn. Yeah, they burn the blood vessels, right? So cauterize me again. I get in my car. I'm driving down the road. Boom, my nose starts bleeding again. I'm like, fuck. So I go back to this guy. I'm like, dude, my nose is bleeding again. He's like, all right. He's like, dude, we're gonna have to pack it. So I'm like, all right, yeah. Well, when I thought he said pack it, I've had staph infection before, where they lance you and then they pack it, where they pack gauze in it just by putting a bunch of gauze in it. So I thought he was gonna put a bunch of gauze in my phone. He's like, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. He has this thing.
I saw it, guys, when it came out. It was
like
huge.
8 inches by 4 inches, and he comes to me and jams this thing in my nose. Oh, I'm like, whoa. I kind of push him back, in pain, and he's like, man, most people scream. I'm like, what the fuck? And like my nose was like kind of bent in, a little bit was hanging out, so he jams it back, jams the rest of it in. So I go home. I'm fucking miserable now.
Yeah,
I remember calling Renee.
It literally looked like a huge tampon, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think you saw me the second time.
Okay.
But so I remember calling Renee like, fucking just miserable for my life. I lost the fucking fight. I lost my belt, and now I got this fucking plug up my nose. And so I go home, and next day, I can't sleep. You just think you have this fucking thing in your face, it's just the pressure alone. It's miserable, and it fucking starts bleeding through this fucking this thing. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is bleeding through this rhino rocket?
If it's bleeding that bad, is it also going back down your throat?
Oh, yeah, I was spitting up blood like crazy, And so finally we get in touch with a specialist who this ENT that worked that cauterized my nose and plugged it, whatever, hooked up with this guy at UPenn. Go there. This guy's like, all right, we're gonna do a surgery. We're gonna adjust your nose. Put 2 packings in it. You're gonna stay. We're gonna cauterize it. 2 packings. While I was, knocked out. So they do that, and in the hospital. And while I'm in the hospital, my fucking nose starts fucking bleeding through the fucking 2 packings in my nose.
Christ, man.
So then they said, all right, let's go. They went through my artery in my groin. And they were going to plug it through that way.
No way.
My nose. Yeah, they started through my groin, and they plug it up. I'm out. They put me out. So they put me out, and then they wake me up. And when you're up, like, I'm bugging out. I remember.
Wait. Back up a little bit. Neither one of us are doctors, but if you're plugging an artery, that's not the only place that goes. What else are you shutting off?
It's not an artery. It was a blood vessel.
Okay.
So they go through an artery
to
get to the blood vessel they want to plug in my nose.
And they literally,
I don't know how the fuck they do it, but I guess with a robot or something. I don't know. But they, knocked me out, and it's literally right my groin, went all the way up. And I remember waking up and fucking kind of being a little restless. And they're like, don't move. You can't move because they already went through your artery. So your artery, right? Yeah. So if the fucking leaks out, you could bleed out, Mm-hmm. So I had to do that twice. And then, so kind of, I left the hospital. I'm home in the hospital, and I have these 2 plugs in my nose for a week. And
just on the one side, 2 plugs?
Both. So
Okay.
I cannot breathe out my nose at all.
You're a mouth breather at that point.
I fucking sound like you on the mic.
I got a little bit of a cold, guys. Fuck off.
So, all right, I'm mouth breathing like a motherfucker. So bad. I remember sleeping with a wet towel over my face so I get some moisture in my mouth. Jesus. Right? And it's not bleeding through those things, right? So all of a sudden it's like Friday. I'm supposed to get it out the next Monday or something. It's Thursday, Friday, later in the week, and I am fucking getting a fever, like 103, 104 degree fever. I'm fucking starting to hallucinate a little bit, and bugging out,
not the good kind.
Bugging out. So what happened? So she called the doctor. The doctor's like, all right, bring him in. So we're fucking driving to the hospital. My wife is like, yo, what the hell is wrong? I was bugging out, like I was hallucinating. Girls get toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah,
I had toxic shock syndrome in my fucking face.
Wow.
Well, so I go to the doctor. It's his office, but he pulled both of those things out. Oh, my God, that was the best feeling in the world. I could take only 2 breaths in and boom, everything swelled up. So then I fucking go home. He's like, listen, don't touch your fucking nose. He's like, I want you touching your nose.
Don't blow your nose. Don't touch
blow your nose. He's like, because what I would do is it bleed and I keep fucking banging.
Well, what do they do to treat the toxic shock? The toxic shocks is all the toxins that are backing up in your system, right?
As soon as I took that off, I was pretty much had relief.
Okay.
You know? Took the tampons out, I had relief. You know? And so I go home.
Isn't it funny? Because that's how it works with women, too. They're nicer people once those tampons come out.
Imagine having things shoved up your butt.
No, not at all.
I bet you would. A little bit.
No, not a bit, buddy.
So what I did is I put some gauze with some tape and just fucking walked around like that for a couple of days, and finally it stopped bleeding.
Wow.
And I didn't blow my nose for fucking
scared.
weeks.
Scared,
for weeks.
Right? Yeah.
And bro, I had the biggest booger in my life ever. I still couldn't breathe. Even when I could finally breathe out the one side I couldn't. I fucking got this booger out, man. It was like, holy shit, man. Unbelievable. I was like, I'm taking everyone's air today.
Well, that's the longest you've ever been out of fight, because you train all the time. Is that the longest it took you out of fight? Because there's no way you could possibly.
I couldn't train for a month.
You couldn't even do jiu-jitsu like that.
They wouldn't let me get my heart rate up. They didn't want my heart rate to get up at all because they didn't want me to,
Yeah.
So I remember the first.
Isn't that crazy though? You went to the doctors in Japan. They said there was no issue, nothing. You flew, no,
there was no issue though. I made the issue. I blew a blood vessel out by blowing my nose too hard.
Right, but can't atmospheric pressure flying? Couldn't that have done it as well or no?
I don't think so.
I mean, you flew home from Japan. That's a long flight.
I don't know. It was
imagine
2 days
imagine
later,
that happening in
that's
an hour into
that's why when I broke my face, when I the doctor said it was good, then I went back to the locker room. I could tell it was something's fucked up. So I took my nose, closed my nose and pushed out a little bit, and I seen it blow up in there. I'm like, fuck, it's broke. I'm like, I don't know if I'm able. Sometimes they don't let you fly.
Right.
If you need surgery or it's I don't know what kind. I forget the terminology, but what they call it. But if it's impacted or some shit, you can't fly. Right. I'm like, damn, I have to get fucking face surgery in Korea during Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Fucking that insult to injury, or injury to insult. Shit. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think South Korea probably has good doctors, but there's got to be some places you go to
good
where
doctors. I'm sure. Good TV.
Fighting in Kazakhstan and having an injury.
Yeah. Well, no. Or the Philippines. I went to the Philippines. Philippines was cool too, though.
Yeah,
it was cool, but dirty place, man.
Really?
I mean, a lot of air.
Who'd you fight in the Philippines?
Fought Uriah.
You did?
Faber in the Philippines, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Philippines, is that where Rumble in the Jungle was? Was that?
Rumble in the Jungle? No, that was Thrilla in Manila.
Thrilla in Manila, that's right. Yeah, I knew it was one of those. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That was a fun fight. That was cool. It was cool. It was crazy, man. I remember getting off in the airport. I think for the press or for the fight. I don't remember which time, but I went out 2 times. One for press and then one for the fight. You go out in the airport, you get picked up by a bus. Traffic goes like 10 lanes, and they're going fucking any way they want to go. There's no right, left, no what side of the road.
A lot of mopeds, right?
Mopeds, yeah, dude. Like families on mopeds.
Yeah.
On one moped,
no
like
helmets,
a family on a one moped.
Makes
little kids like our daughter's age selling flowers in the streets.
Doesn't it make you appreciate America and where you live?
Oh
really?
My God, yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize that. Not that I'm worldly traveled, but I've been around a bit, and you go to some of these places and you're just like, wow, like
even like
any tropical island. If you walk on the beach, there's always some little kid or somebody selling something.
Rights. I've been in some places where there's not many rights for women and this and that, and you're sitting there complaining about America. I don't know, get your shit straight, people.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why it's good to be a little world traveler. It's kind of crazy. The places I've been, I would never have imagined to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like you said, would you fucking in your life did you ever say, I think I want to go to South Korea one day, or maybe I'll end up in South Korea? I never. No. Now I think, hey, anything's possible because after what I've lived so far, who knows what's next? But I never thought that I'd be Abu Dhabi.
Dubai, man. How was Dubai? You went to Dubai, and I think Renee was like 9 months pregnant.
Well, it was Abu Dhabi. I fought in Abu Dhabi, but I did go to Dubai when I was there.
Oh, was that okay?
Yeah, she was like 8.5 months pregnant.
All right, we got our producer back there, Lou, telling us to wrap up. So I think
that was a good one.
Yeah, we'll wrap this segment up.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for listening again. Episode 2, Champ and the Tramp.
Share, like, and subscribe, guys. Give us a chance. Give us a follow. We're gonna be down here weekly jamming and putting out episodes. So
maybe hitting you up for some suggestions as well.
Absolutely.